Hi everyone, welcome to part 2. Okay, Fischer has just played bishop e6. And here Bertok played rook fd1, which is a blunder. And if you want to try and spot why, then stop the video now. Okay, the reason why it's a blunder is because now Fischer has knight takes e3, which was presumably an unexpected blow to Bertok, because mate is threatened with queen takes g2, so white is forced to take the knight. Queen takes c3, and now comes bishop takes c4. And now white has only one pawn for the piece, and black's task is made much easier. If we go back to this stage, rook fd1 is the move, and essentially it blunders a pawn. Better was bishop takes d5, but after bishop takes d5 and f3, white is still, of course, lost in this position. With careful play from black, it will just be a matter of technique and just grinding him down, wearing him down, simplifying, getting to an endgame where he's, got a piece against a king and just pawns left on the board, and it's a simple win. So rook fd1 anyway. So knight takes e3, queen takes e3, bishop takes c4. And play continued with h4, which is Bertok having one last roll of the dice before throwing in the towel. But it comes to nothing after rook e8, threatening the queen. So queen g3, now queen e7 to defend g5, b3, bishop e6 in order to control g4 after the anticipated f4. So now g4 seals the g file and neutralizes all the threats. Bertok tried to press on with h5, but after queen c5 check, rook f2 and bishop f5, he resigned, finally accepting that it was a hopeless position. Well, we've got a bit of time left, so we may as well have a replay with the threatened squares on. So yeah, it was Queen's Gambit declined, which is pretty rare actually to see Fischer playing this defense with black. As I said in part 1, he almost always played the King's Indian defense against d4. There's some examples of him playing the Nimzo Indian, and I think that's about it actually. I think the Nimzo Indian, the King's Indian, and the Queen's Gambit declined. I think there's probably a couple of examples of his playing other openings, but I think almost exclusively. I mean, the King's Indian was certainly the most popular anyway. And so yeah, it's rare to see him playing the Queen's Gambit declined. There's a couple of examples of him playing it with the white pieces, but only by transposition, when he played c4 against Spassky, and against a few other opponents as well. And after c4, the game transposed into the Queen's Gambit declined lines. I think there's only one or two examples on the online databases of him opening with d4. I think it's very rare. So to see him play Queen's Gambit declined with white is also very rare. He was an e4 player, because it generally leads to much more tactical games which suited his style, as opposed to d4, which generally speaking leads to more positional games. And he could play all types of chess. There's a quote by Vishy Anand on YouTube when he met Fischer maybe 3 or 4 years ago now, and was a big admirer of him. He's a tactical player as well, and he said that Fischer could just play all types of chess. He could play positionally, tactically. He was an absolutely incredible endgame player, and his opening skill is legendary. So he was just the best ever, in my opinion anyway. And what was really instructive about that game is that Bertok lost, and right up until the middle game he didn't really make any massive mistakes. There were no blunders, just inaccuracies. So it's incredible to see just players worn down positionally and beaten in such a way. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this game and this video. Please leave any comments or thoughts. Thanks very much.